Open session. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session held on August 19th, 2025? That's not correct, sorry. There's a motion to seal the minutes of the executive session held today, September 9th, 2025. Is there a motion? So moved. By Commissioner Callahan, is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Browner. Roll call vote. Commissioner Susie.
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss.
Aye.
Mr. Browner.
Aye.
Mr. Callahan. Aye. Mr. Centerini.
Aye.
Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Mr. Rabideau.
Aye.
Mr. Ritchie. Aye. Chair votes aye. We report on the actions taken in today's meeting. Commission voted. Commission approved the minutes of the executive session held on August 19th, 2025 by a vote of 6-0 with 3 abstentions. And the commission voted 9-0 to return to open session. That was the extent of our executive session today. That leads us to new business proposed for future commission agendas and general comments from the commission. Open the floor to the commission.
You. One matter that I meant to raise during the director's report, just scheduling wise. I mentioned that we had continued the Rogers adjudication beyond the October date. There are only 2 more meetings after October. So there's a November 18th meeting and a December 16th meeting. Just wanted to ask the commissioners, do you have a preference for either of those dates to hold an adjudication?
No, she's working with. I would prefer later than sooner. Based on personal considerations,
So that would be,
but I'll try.
I don't see anybody else weighing in on it, so.
so we could shoot for
I'm fine.
December 16th and conceivably even into January, to be honest. So, but 16th would then be the earliest probably.
You expect witnesses other than Ms. Rogers, and we know what to expect.
We don't know yet, the extent of this.
In anticipation of hearings, is there any sort of providing to the members of the commission witness lists or any documents that are going to be presented in advance? I'm not sure we want to take documents, but I think a witness list might be helpful because there might be a conflict for all we know.
What would normally happen in an adjudication is we would reach out to counsel for the respondent and try to come up with a joint stipulation to present to the commission where that, first of all, stipulates to whatever facts we can just agree to, so that we don't have to waste your time bringing in witnesses to prove them. If we can just, for instance, the respondent is on the town council, we can all just agree to that without having. Also, there might be some exhibits that we'll just agree may be admitted, that they're, without having to authenticate them and go, bring a witness in to authenticate certain exhibits. And then finally, each side would lay out, these are the witnesses that we think that we're going to call. These are the exhibits that we think we're going to introduce, and then present that to the commission. And that is what we try to do in every case, if we can get the cooperation of opposing counsel. Sometimes we ask, it could be a status conference might help to move that along, even a chambers conference with the chair and legal counsel presiding over a chambers conference with the opposing counsel to discuss how the adjudications. So,
Mr. Chairman, from my recollection, if it bears any resemblance to what really happened, I'm recalling the probable cause hearing or the probable cause document. There was some, as I recall, alleged reliance on the solicitor's recommendation. So that may be a potential witness in response to the chairman's question.
Right. And while we're at it though, let me ask you this, since I've been on the commission since April of 2021. I don't believe we've had an adjudication in that whole time. Commissioner Susie and I came out at the same time. So I'd like to know how, for example, commission is to deal with the objections to evidence. Is there a process? Is it decided? I assume it's not decided by the chair.
Yeah, it will be at that moment decided by the chair. And there are the Administrative Procedures Act and our regulations lay out some of these procedures for adjudications, discuss that the rules of evidence are that in a trial in the courts are generally applicable, but relaxed. Some hearsay evidence is allowed in administrative occasions that might not be allowed in trials, and that's all laid out in, it's not all perfectly laid out, but it is laid out in our regulations in the Administrative Procedures Act, and we'll make all that available to you in advance of the hearing, so that you, in conjunction with your independent legal counsel, not a staff attorney, can make those rulings as they happen.
In fact, at that time, we have to treat you not as a staff attorney, but as a prosecutor, correct?
Correct.
And I forgot who's counsel for Ms. Rogers.
Please, also.
Ms. Holland. Anybody else would like to add some comment at this point? I believe the next item on the agenda is whether there is a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Rashid, seconded by Commissioner Swayze. I'll take a voice. Is anybody opposed? Hearing none, it's unanimous vote, so we will take adjourn. Thank you all. Very good hearing.